Hello and welcome to round 12 of Grand Prix Pittsburgh.
In progress.
In progress.
Thanks to Pez. Well, it's not Pez's fault that this is in progress, but we thank Pez for this awesome event.
Yep, we've got Patrick Chapin facing off against Joshua Leyton. Patrick Chapin is playing a Rug Pod deck, and Joshua Leyton is playing a blue-white Cowboy type deck. I'm Ben Swartz, joined here in the booth by Ray Punslon and Rashad Miller.
Hello, everybody. So hopefully we resolved some of our issues earlier, but now we are watching this match right here. I'm not sure what Phantasmal Image is copying. Okay, so it was probably copying Infernal Titan, and now it kills off the Sun Titan. So Patrick Chapin's side of the board is Infernal Titan, Lotus Cobra, Silvok Replica, Phantasmal Image copying Infernal Titan, and Josh scoops it up there. So game one goes to Patrick Chapin.
Yeah, you guys didn't miss anything interesting.
Yeah, no big deal.
Yeah, you know what? All that stuff that was in play, that happened like in the first 3 turns, and then they thought about it for a long time.
But while we wait for game 2, we'd like to thank our sponsor, GamingEtc.com. GamingEtc.com reminds you to always blame Kibler. They have Blame Kibler merchandise from Monster Binders to t-shirts. So go to GamingEtc.com. Also join the fun on Facebook. Go to tinyurl.com/blame Kibler. And as always, you can save 10% off your entire purchase by using the code GGsLive.
So this is an interesting deck. Patrick Chapin designed his deck, his Rug Pod deck, to defeat Cobblade, which was something he was
This is a shifter check.
Are we shapeshifters?
Let's see if we're still shifters.
Let's see if we're still shape-shifting.
But yeah, Patrick Chapin designed his deck, his Rug Pod deck, to defeat Cobblade because he expected it to be a large part of the metagame. He played this deck at Nationals. He actually was in the booth earlier this weekend talking about his deck. He said that he's been practicing a lot for Modern, so he hasn't done a lot to his deck since Nationals, but he still thinks it has a good matchup against the Cowboy decks, and here we see him take a quick game 1 against Joshua Leyton, who is playing Cowboy. Now, Joshua Leyton is playing a little variation on the Cowboy deck. He's playing the same version that Brad Nelson is playing with Mirren Crusaders, and we had Tom Martell earlier in the booth talk about that while we were watching Brad Nelson play against Jerry Thompson last round.
So I noticed, this weekend, this has become one of the more common matchups. Claw against Rug Pod and different variants of Rug Pod. It's pretty interesting to see the change of that. It used to be a lot of Valakut, Claw, and
yeah, not a lot of Valakut this weekend.
Yeah, not a lot.
But
it's good to see the change.
Yeah, it's nice to get a little change of pace. Pre-bannings that was pretty boring, but post-bannings, people it took them a little while to hash it out, and then people thought might be dominated by Cobblade again. But we see here that there's actually quite a few viable options, and they're all very good. We see people that's running the tables, people such as Matt Nass running the tables with Blue-Red Splinter Twin. Right now he's playing in the future match area against Yuya Watanabe, who's also undefeated.
And Eric English, I believe his name was.
Eric English.
Yeah, he started off day 1 undefeated with Splinter Twin as well.
So did Zach Hall. Zach Hall has only one loss. He lost to Yuya the first round of today, and he defeated Osip Lebedavich last round. So a lot of good Blue-Red Splinter Twin players. We saw in the first round Matt Nass played against Jonas Kostler, who was playing the Rug Pod Splinter Twin deck. So we've seen a lot of different variations of the Deceiver Architect Splinter Twin combo. We've seen a lot of Cobblade. We haven't seen too much Valakut here, but there is Valakut here. There's Mono Red, Blue-Black Control. There's quite a few decks. Pretty diverse format, and I don't know about you, Ray, but I'm really excited to look. I'm looking forward to next weekend for Modern.
Definitely next weekend's going to be real fun to watch. I want to see all the new decks. The 12-post deck obviously is skyrocketed the price of Vesuva just because of how popular that deck is.
Yeah, the LSV played in one of the first daily events on Magic Online with the 12-post deck that included Primeval Titan, and I think in one of his matchups he just hardcast a Emrakul on turn 4. Hardcast it on turn 4.
That's pretty normal.
He played turn 1 Forest, turn 1 Glimmer Post. Sorry, Cloud Post. Yeah, Cloud Post. Turn 2 Explore Cloud Post. Turn 3 Cloud Post. Turn 4 Glimmer Post. And that's 3 times 4 is 12 plus 3. So
the mirror match also seems like it'd be really annoying. So I want to see what people do.
Yeah, Glimmer Post and Cloud Post both count all locuses in play.
It's like you kind of don't want to play them, but you have to play them.
What
Yep.
card?
The mirror match, the Cloud Post.
Okay, so it looks like the players have drawn their opening hands, deciding whether or not they want to keep, and we should get Game 2 started for you guys in just a moment here at Grand Prix Pittsburgh. It looks like Joshua Leyton's going to start play with Celestial Colonnade, and Patrick Chapin counters that with turn 1 Birds of Paradise, which gets mental missteps by Joshua Leyton. It's interesting to see that people have started to play a lot more mental missteps recently.
Yeah, they're more main deckable now.
Yeah, and even here, Joshua Leyton boarded a mental misstep against a matchup that maybe you normally wouldn't play mental misstep against. You think, in Patrick Chapin's deck, what 1-drops does he have that you really want to counter? He might have Lightning Bolt, which he does. He might have Nature's Claim, which he did, but I don't think he does anymore. Birds of Paradise. He wants to, stop him from getting that mana acceleration to get a quick kill, slow down the game so that Joshua Leyton can come back with his slower plays like Squadron Hawk, gaining the incremental advantage that his deck is known for.
So did Pat mention why his deck is a good matchup against blue-white?
It's just Cobblade has a real tough time dealing with Birthing Pod. It also has kind of a tough time dealing with the semi-land death strategy that they have. But mainly, if you can go Birthing Pod into Seagate Oracle, into Vengevine, into Acidic Slime, into Inferno Titan, there's very few ways that the Cobblade deck can win. And even if you can turbo out an Inferno Titan quickly, or Acidic Slime quickly, or even Hero of Oxid Rage, one of those cards quickly using Lotus Cobra, that's also really important. Basically, he took the red, blue, green deck that he and Mike Jacobs played last season in Standard, and actually earlier this season, and added Birthing Pod.
Adding Birthing Pod and a couple other creatures.
Huh?
And even though you don't have Jace, you've got Birthing Pod, which gives you a similar type of advantage.
Okay.
Obviously, it's nowhere close to Jace,
Yeah.
but I mean, still, if you can go Seagate, like I said, Seagate Oracle into a Haster into Acidic Slime or Urabrask, and then Inferno Titan, that's a really powerful play, and there's very few things the Cobblade player can do to stop an in-play Birthing Pod.
So Patrick's facing down a couple Hawks on Josh's side here. Looks like he just sacked his Misty Rainforest. Top of Pat's hand, there's a Combust. Not sure what he's going to play this turn. Couldn't catch the rest of it.
I mean, his dream play this turn is probably just play Birthing Pod, and the next turn, maybe play Vengevine, or Seagate Oracle, turn it into a Vengevine. It's probably actually better. The next turn Vengevine into a 5-drop, and try to buy back Vengevine or something like that. If he's got Birthing Pod here, which, nope, looks like just Cunning Spark Mage. Cunning Spark Mage.
Yeah, that'll be helpful.
Card, yeah. Shoot down those Hawks one at a time, make it so that if Josh wants to try to equip, he's going to have to go through a lot of work to get that equipped.
Josh has a Cunning Spark Mage of his own.
Yeah, in the form of Phantasmal Image.
So Pat's going to take it.
Yeah, Josh is going to get in for 2. And then Josh post-combat is deciding what he wants to do. I think... Do you copy the Cunning Spark Mage just to get the Cunning Spark Mage?
It seems like you do.
They both die, right? Yeah. So
Yeah.
maybe there's something... I don't know, maybe not. It depends how much you value those Hawks. But, I mean, Phantasmal Image... I guess you have to get rid of the Cunning Spark Mage because Phantasmal Image is dead anyways to Cunning Spark Mage. Regardless, because it... sacrifice when you target it.
Let's see. There's Phantasmal Image. So it's a good play by Pat by not using it to shoot down a Hawk and just waiting. Probably anticipating the possibility of Phantasmal Image.
Yep, so they'll trade Phantasmal Images.
And Josh will add more Hawks to the board.
So there you go. Patrick Chapin draws a
Copperline Gorge.
Copperline Gorge. I always forget the name of that one. And he's looking at his hand. Is that a Torpor? Maybe it's 2 Copperline Gorge, a Forest, Combust.
And the card he's about to play.
Yeah, there's a blue spot. I don't know what it is. Patrick Chapin taking his time to consider his options. I mean, even though he considers this a good matchup, it's not a bloodbath by any means. You still have to play tight, and Patrick Chapin's been doing a lot of that this weekend. So there you go. That's the blue card we're talking about. Seagate Oracle.
It sees a Combust in a mountain.
We'll take Combust. It looks like. Seagate Oracle also really adds a lot of value to this Birthing Pod deck. It's a come-into-play ability that you get to draw a card and then you get to turn it into something better. Especially the Hasters are really what they're looking forward to. And Josh is going to continue bringing the beats with his 1-1 flying hawk.
So do we know if Pat and Jacob are running the same list? They work together and are running the same list? Did you know that? Do you know if that's the case?
MJ and
Yeah.
Patrick Chapin? Yeah, they work together for this deck. I'm not sure if they're working together for the Pro Tour, but it wouldn't surprise me because I think they worked together for Pro Tour Nagoya earlier this summer.
I mean, they're both from Detroit. They both are RIW.
I mean, Patrick Chapin lives in Milwaukee.
Oh yeah,
And,
I mean, but they still already have that relationship going. So I can't see
I mean,
that
he's been good friends with MJ for a very long time. So, Patrick is going to preordain. Looks like he picked up a Lotus Cobra from that.
And there's that Lotus Cobra.
And Patrick's going to get in for 1. Dropping Josh down to 17 life. Play a land and not get any mana from that Lotus Cobra. It looks like he's past the turn. So let's see what Josh can come up with for his turn.
There's a couple preordains in his hand. There's a nice shot of the background right there.
Really good look at Josh.
It looks like the real life version of the clown on The Simpsons. Or not the clown, the crazy guy in Simpsons. Sideshow Bob, there you go. That's what you look like, real life version.
Anyway.
Back to the Hawkings.
Another hawk for Josh. Looks like Josh drew an Oblivion Ring. In the meantime, in a Flash Freeze, he's gotten cleared in. Josh, known as Rap Grand Moto, he was U.S. National Champion last year, not this year, last year. Patrick Chapin, of course, is most famous for a number of different things. Top eight at a Grand Prix back in the day, and he came back and got second at Worlds playing the Dragonstorm deck that he and Gabriel Nassif.
And didn't he just recently top 8 Pro Tour as well?
He just top 8 Pro Tour Paris. He defeated Owen Turnwald in the penultimate round to top 8 that event. So the winner of the match between him and Owen would have top 8 that Pro Tour, and Patrick beat Owen.
So Pat's sitting at 8 life after taking the beatings from the Hawks. He has a couple combusts in his hand. A Force looks like it was picked up for the turn. Can't make out the rest of it. Pat's going to have to do something soon if he wants to stay in this game.
Yeah, he can't. This is not the start that Patrick was looking forward to in his deck. He wanted a quick, if he could somehow cast Inferno Titan, but with his Lotus Cobra gone, it doesn't seem likely. He really wanted to get a quicker start. He really wants a Birthing Pod. It's one of the problems of the deck is, the hands that you need to keep to win are so small, so you end up mulliganing a lot, in which case, you mulligan a lot, and you have a bunch of bad experiences where you mulligan a 5 and lose, so then maybe later on in the tournament, your range of hands to keep is wider, but then you start keeping hands that you can't win with. Like here, I don't know whether or not this keep was a good one. I mean, he had Combust and he had Cunning Spark Mage, but still... Yeah, look here, Patrick, just to be defensive, he has to use 2 Combusts to kill Hawks, just so he can, save himself 2 turns here.
So now Pat got rid of 2 problems, but there's 2 more Hawks that are still coming through. And if Josh can get a couple land on the board, Celestial Colonnade will come in.
Another preordain for Josh. Using a lot of library manipulation to craft the perfect hand, and he'll pass the turn. Looks like Patrick drew a Ponder. Let's see what he can get from that. He's still in a rough spot.
Yeah, he needs
even if he gets a
Inferno Titan,
Josh has Oblivion Ring, along with
and Flash Freeze.
So here's Birthing Pod. You've got to assume that Josh is going to try to Flash Freeze that. And I don't think Patrick had a counterspell in his hand. I think he drew Ponder I think he drew Birthing Pod off the Ponder. No, he drew Ponder for the turn. He hasn't cast Ponder yet. Oh, yeah, yes, he did. Sorry. Maybe?
Yep.
I don't think he did.
Yeah, he didn't cast it. And there's a Ponder now.
Yep.
He sees acidic slime and a ponder off that ponder, and I don't see what else is the other card. Pat chipping away, but it's going to need more than a little Seagate Oracle
He's not really
to win this
chipping
game.
away when Josh is, 2 times the clock and Patrick's at 6 life. Now going to 4 from the 2 damage from those 2 Hawks. So post-combat, Mirror Crusader looks like it's going to come down for Josh. And Josh is going to pass the turn with 1 mana up. What could Patrick have? Looks like he drew Combust. I don't think that's going to do it. Even if he has a Birthing Pod here. He's
Birthing Pod into...
But even if he has a Birthing Pod here, he's still going to have to take 2 this turn to activate Birthing Pod this turn. And then what does he get? Vengevine? Or
Obstinate Baloth?
Yeah, maybe Obstinate Baloth.
I don't even know. Yeah, he probably didn't keep that in anymore.
The Mirror Crusader's making, anything that he could pot into look laughable. So, looks like Patrick is shuffling from Ponder. Let's see what he draws from it.
Looks like some sort of spell.
I think it was Phyrexian Metamorph. Could be.
Yeah, it definitely is Phyrexian Metamorph. Doesn't really want to play it here. Doesn't have anything to copy that's worthwhile.
Yeah,
maybe the Mirror Crusader, but
he copied the Mirror Crusader, but that just trades. Like he wants to. He really needs like an Inferno Titan to get back in this game. So
maybe Pat is going to play the Phyrexian Metamorph. Ooh.
We got Aaron Forsythe coming in with these transform cards.
These look awesome. The transform cards in real life.
They are real.
True or false? They are single-handedly ruining Magic.
Well, not single-handedly, but in combination with all the other dumb things we do, yes, they're ruining Magic.
Actual true or false question: whose idea was it? Was it Tom Lapilli's?
No, it was Rosewater's.
These cards look awesome. I can't wait till this match is over so people can see them.
So this is the checklist card. Oh, you guys are watching a match. I'm sorry, we'll get to this later. We'll get to it later. It's Chapin dying to Squadron Hawks.
I saw you going wild on Twitter.
It's fun. I enjoy Twitter.
So Chapin drew a Vengevine and plays a Phyrexian Metamorph. Probably going to copy a Hawk here.
Yep. He gets to search his library for Hawks if you'd like.
That would be some tech.
Maybe you could shuffle it. He did ponder a couple times.
Dismember
There's a dismember.
Going to end the game.
All right, so I guess we're going to game 3. So what you been doing today? Have you been gunslinging yet? Or you
No,
just get here?
got here. Just got here.
You've been waiting to show this, haven't you? You're like, cannot wait to reveal the transform.
Figured I'd have to bring them because I'm sure I was going to get bombarded with questions once they revealed them at the party.
I saw them when I woke up this morning, and this looks really sweet, actually. I like this idea when I read towards the middle of it when it started talking about the checklist. That's pretty neat.
Right, so you don't need sleeves. You can play with these things.
But you do in drafts, you do have to reveal them.
You can try to not reveal them, but they are public information should they be revealed.
But like in a Pro Tour draft, you're going to have
Would you have one of
You're
these
not
with
gonna have to, no.
Okay.
Really? How do you hide it?
Well, like when you open your pack, you take your land or whatever. I guess we're going to leave the lands in the Pro Tour packs for this season. And then when you have your cards, if you pick this and you can get it in there like that, you don't have to show everybody. You can slide it under your land. You don't have to put it on top. You don't have to put it on top anymore. That's a rule we're changing. You don't have to put your picks on top of your pile.
Okay.
If you personally, I don't know why you wouldn't want to show it.
I want people to know what
Right, you do. I think it is in general. It is better for people to know what color you are. You are in better shape if people know that you're green and you take this card. I think that's just
a team draft though, maybe not.
At a team
Yeah.
draft.
It depends. 3v3.
A 3v. Sure. Then you
Yeah,
can
but like
try
the-
to hide it.
For premier events, it's actually an advantage because you're like, I'm green and
Everybody, yeah, right. I mean, the thing that keeps this fair is every pack has one. Everyone has to deal with this. The same.
Every pack
the
has
same.
a-
Every pack has a double-sided card.
All right.
Every pack has one double-sided card. So everyone has the same amount of information visible to everybody in the draft. It's not like 2 people opened one and no one else did. So there's going to be, 8.
There's going to be 24 double-sided cards in every draft that you have to know and remember which ones.
Why do you have to know and remember them?
If you want to have the maximum advantage.
Well,
Why
sure,
don't we just bring
right.
back Rochester draft for the Pro Tour then?
Because no one likes Rochester draft.
I like Rochester draft.
it takes
All right,
forever.
No one but you likes Rochester draft. Like, I mean, I think people are like, worst case scenario, I need to memorize everything and have all the information at my advantage. I mean, that's just never going to happen. You have to look at your own pack to see what cards you want to pick. You're not going to be sitting there staring at 7 other people, figuring out what they're doing with one sometimes baddish common if they're taking it or not. If the guy on your right takes, windmill slams the green double-sided card and it's visible, okay, that's a pretty good signal. People enjoy sending signals in draft. They want people to try to figure out what they're taking off to the side. Don't be green. I mean, I think there's a whole other layer of strategy with these of whether or not you're trying to publicize what color you are or whether you're trying to hide what color you are.
Right, but what's the advantage of having these transform cards over just having the similar flip
Here we
cards?
go.
I'll talk about this again.
Yeah.
But game has started and both players start off with land. No 1-drop from either of them, and Patrick Chapin is going to start things off with a Lotus Cobra on 2. That's going to get dismembered at the end of turn by Josh or Leyton, and he's going to untap, and presumably his turn 2 play that he wants to see is
Squadron Hawk, typical.
But
It doesn't look like there's any Squadron Hawks there. He has the Inkmoth Nexus, Island.
looks like he
Oh, he
have
does
step
have-
back. So you have turn 2 Squadron Hawk.
Always have it.
The openings that both of these decks wanted, but of course Patrick's opening was countered by Dismember from Josh or Leyton's deck.
Patrick draws a Combust first turn. Sacks his Misty Rainforest. We're going to see what he searches up here.
Does Josh have a Myriad Angels or something like that?
He's playing
What
Mirroring
does he want to
Crusaders.
combust? Certainly not Squadron Hawk.
Mirroring Crusaders
All right.
are the biggest, the white threat that he'd want, and the Celestial Colonnade. Other than that, I don't think there was any other. He ended up having to combust a bunch of Squadron Hawks, but obviously that wasn't the most optimal thing for Pat to do.
I guess combusting a Sworded Hawk is okay.
Seagate Oracle. Couldn't see what Pat grabbed there. So this match fight is getting a little better than the first, the previous game rather.
Patrick Chapin actually has a chance this game. He played a spell the first 3 turns, first 4 turns rather.
Yeah, he claims this is a good matchup for him.
Yeah, he thinks that this is the matchup he wants to face. It mainly has to do with the fact that the Cobbler decks are weak to Birthing Pod. But unfortunately, these past 2 games we watched, Patrick didn't have a Birthing Pod, or didn't have one resolved.
Josh has an Oblivion Ring and a Flash Freeze, so I don't know if he's going to get a Birthing Pod active this game either.
Josh is going to.
Here's his chance.
Squadron. Here, as you say, here's his chance. If he casts Birthing Pod and then activates it, he can go get a Vengevine or a Hero of Oxid Ridge, a Haste Guy. That's what he's looking for. Start bringing the beats in.
Just casts a beater.
Yeah.
Here's
Hero of
here.
Oxid Ridge is all he needs, and he attacks in.
6 damage. Squadron Hawk can't chump even if it wanted.
Let's see if Josh has
More
anything. Nope.
Dismembers? I don't think so. Maybe not.
Josh is already at 10 life thanks to that Dismember and the 6 damage this turn. That's one of the reasons why Patrick's deck is good, because these haste creatures are good against the Cowboy decks because they do a lot of damage themselves, and Hero of Oxid Ridge is so powerful
Right.
against them.
He has picked the right creatures to fight this matchup.
Sun Titan sitting on top of Josh's hand. Didn't see what he drew for the turn. A couple of lands for a couple land drops in his hand as well.
Hero of Oxid Ridge, we made that guy specifically to be good against these kinds of creatures. Wall of Omens, Seagate Oracle, and Squadron Hawk. Because we were afraid of these blue-white cantrip decks being able to shut down everyone's offense.
Yeah, here Oxid Ridge is also one of the big cards in Kibler's deck that he's running, the red-green aggro version. When I think about it, it's very similar to Pat's deck, but instead of Birthing Pods, he just plays more creatures.
More land destruction, yeah.
More creatures, more land destruction. Has the same idea.
No bird. So
Josh, has a Phantasmal image. I wonder if he's going to use that to copy.
to copy Hero of
Hero?
Ridge, get in for 8.
Or that's his only way to play defense. All his other creatures are 1 power, so won't be able to block.
4/2 haste guy go.
Hope you don't have your Cunning Spark Mage or something.
Well, he's got a flash freeze up, so yeah.
Yeah, and
Oh.
deals 8. Drops
Pat
Chapin down to
10.
10.
More Hawks. He's threatening lethal.
This is getting scary, but if Chapin has Vengevine,
That's game. Right?
that's game. Yeah, if he has Vengevine,
Oh yeah,
it's game.
Josh
Or
is like,
Urbrass.
we're racing now.
Urbrass,
Your race. Let's do this.
Vengevine, another hero.
He only has 1 hero.
Oh, only 1 hero on the deck?
Pat has a preordained, but doesn't have whatever he needs to win this turn in his hand right now. Or I'm sure he would have just done it. He's got some combusts, but he can't target the clone because it's red.
Pat starts off by sacking his Scalding Tarn. Yeah, this Combust is...
This combust could work out if Josh thinks he's just going to attack for 10. Well, let's see.
There's more than that. 4, that's 10 exactly.
He can go to 1.
Patrick needs a Cunning Spark Mage here. I guess he has Combust.
He has combust, which actually works out combusting a hawk, which is what I
Oh, he has double Combust.
said wasn't going to work out for him, but it actually could here.
Preordains, puts them both to the bottom. And Pat's card ends up to be a Phantasmal. And that's
Wow.
game.
Another hero of Oxid Ridge.
Yeah, so that ends the game right there. So Pat plays Phantasmal Image, he'll copy his hero and
yeah.
attack for lethal.
Bash your face in.
Let's see.
Drat.
Josh knocks to the table, and Patrick wins 2 games to 1.
So he advances, is he X2 or
I
X1?
believe he's X and 2. I'm not 100% sure if I did that, but
Congratulations to
He's
Patrick.
X2.
X2?
Yeah. It's fascinating how often the Phantasmal Image drawback doesn't ever matter.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's just a 2-mana clone. Because a lot of people aren't playing
And
giant
even-
growths or things that wouldn't just kill it anyway when you target it.
And even cards that makes it matter, like Into the Royal, like,
Yeah.
they can't kick it anymore,
they
so
won't-
they can't get the bonus.
Right.
So,
Right. Cunning Spark Mage is one of those rare cards that might not normally kill what you copied, but will kill that. But it's not. It prevents you from equipping your guy, which is relevant.